Tonight, I knew.
Hey YouTube, SkepticalRoot. Yeah, I said that might be a thing, didn't I? Yeah, so if you notice, I am not in my basement. I am actually away for a week on vacation in what is lovely Hilton Head, South Carolina. Not getting the back of my head in the shot here, but I am having to record this on my phone because, well, the laptop camera is not great, but considering my lighting options here and the not probably perfect microphone on this thing, we'll see how it turns out. But anyway, I left my list of things at home that I could talk about, but well, we'll have to come up with something. I do have a video on the Kalam cosmological argument that is uploaded and ready to go. You will see that one before you see this one. I don't really have a lot to talk about. I guess, you know, comments on comments. I've had a couple on my Pascal's Wager video. Two different individuals have commented basically that I need to go read the Pensies. Let me explain something to both of them. As I said in the comments, this is an argument against the Pensies. Whatever Pascal thought that led him back to Catholicism is his arguments, his reasonings. It's not anybody else's. Pascal's Wager fails as a Christian apologetic because it only works if, on the one hand, you believe something. You're not going to convince an atheist with it. You're not going to convince a Hindu with it, unless you're using it as a Hindu to not become an atheist. There has to be some understanding or some belief that the premise that in Pascal's case is the case for God, that you have to believe that it's true or there's no value. If you don't believe that it's true, then any religion can fill in that position. I had even pointed out that if you go with the full pragmatic reasoning for accepting Pascal's Wager, then a religion that I make up that has a better heaven or a worse hell, or both, would then be the pragmatic choice to believe in, because it would have the most utility in possibly being true. Well, as Battleship TX pointed out, that wouldn't work because he wouldn't believe it, which is the point I'm making. That if you don't believe it, then there's no value in the wager. Somebody who is, as he tries to put it, on the fence, like on a knife edge, believe or disbelieve, Pascal's Wager says that you should continue to believe or to act as if you believe, because the potential upside and the potential downside are much greater. If you are in that position, then you're right, but it only works for people in that exact position. If you are above or below that, or if you have a decent reason to not believe anymore, then the wager fails. There's no grounds for it at that point, because is it real versus I don't believe it? What side do you fall on? Now, in Pascal's case, at the time that he did it, there was also the social pressures of not believing, which don't exist today. But that in itself, if that's the only reason you decide to believe, that's inadequate anymore. So even if you can argue that Pascal's wager may have been a good argument at one point, it certainly isn't anymore. And I would argue that it never really has been a very good one anyway, because it hasn't withstood the test of time. So, guys, come up with something better and go read the Pensies yourself. You will find that it is indeed a collection of notes pasted together to book form. And like I said, there are 3 or 4 different versions of it, because they can't agree on editorially whether or not they should do it in chronological order, whether they should group them by subjects, whether they should group them by, I don't remember, there was 3 or 4, the Wikipedia article was talking about the different versions of it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I read them, because I didn't have to. I'm not talking about the Pensies. I'm talking about, and their arguments are straight apologetic. They don't have the background on this, and I'm telling you both, you don't have the background on this. Tell me what version you're reading, who the original editor was, and maybe I'll accept your argument, but otherwise, you're telling me to go read it because of your apologetic point that he goes through all of this in the Pensies to explain why he decided to be a Christian. That's not the case. He may have evaluated other religions, but the Pascal's wager was not the conclusion of everything that the Pensies was about. It's not the final chapter. It's not anything like that. I mean, he wrote the Pensies, the notes that became the Pensies he wrote over the course of 20-some years. He died at the age of 39. I believe the notes they went into it, I think dated back to when he was 15 or 16 when they started. Pascal's wager was something he came up with in his 20s, late 20s I want to say, but I mean that's would have been the middle of the book if they were in chronological order and he maintained writing the notes at a fairly even pace throughout his entire life. So try again, basically. So comments on comments, I guess that's about it. I don't really have a whole lot of other stuff to talk about. I still have one on privilege coming up, video on privilege coming up. I have another video on race and race relations. That's pretty much it, I think. I think we're good here. This could be a nice short video. You may see this midweek, like I said, because I've got Kalam coming out. That's a 25-minute video. Go watch it if you haven't. And I think that's it. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. That makes, even though, in all honesty, probably 70% of all atheists are men, and YouTube audiences of YouTube atheists tend to be 90% men. I'm not actually discounting women as potential viewers of my content, but guys is easier. It's colloquial. So that's it. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye and hello, as always.
If it doesn't